pretty lucky that our boys have been in a similar type of process at the clubs for some time now, so they're used to living with the virus and trying to cope with it and obviously do the right thing by it, etc. So we've got protocols in place, and we need to make sure that we adhere to that, and we're certainly doing that at this moment in time, and we plan to continue it because we need to make sure that we get off the ground, don't we, against Italy, and get the game played, and obviously move on to finishing the Six Nations against France.
Is it frustrating to lose Ian Henderson to that suspension?
Oh well, it is what it is, and these things happen in sport, just like injury. You've got to play the cards that you dealt with, and Ian's obviously not happy about it, and he would rather be available to play, etc. But it's somebody else's opportunity, and we'll look forward to that.
Andy, Paul Flynn here from RT. Just specifically going back to what Sinead was saying about COVID and the situation. We've seen this morning that NEFID is recommending a move to level 5. If it's accepted by the government, it would unfortunately mean an end to the Six Nations. How would that make you feel?
Oh well, there's bigger things than finishing the Six Nations. If that's what the government feel that's needed for the health and the safety of the country, then we'll be more than happy to follow that. But obviously we'll be doing everything that we possibly can to make sure that we keep our side of things nice and clean, and we'll wait for the advice if and when it comes.
And just on that, is it difficult to motivate the players in the kind of the current climate that we're living through?
No, it's quite the opposite actually. They've been brimming to come into camp. We've been in camp now for 2 days, and the session that we just finished this morning was a high level quality, high level intensity, and that just shows they want to be in this situation and look forward to a test match next week against Italy.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Anyone else have a question there, lads?
Hi Andy, how are things? Had a few injuries obviously going into the squad. How are the likes of Andrew Porter and Johnny Sexton, are they shaping up okay for the Italy game?
Obviously, they've got a few protocols to come through, but they're looking good. They trained a low key session yesterday and got through that absolutely fine. We've got a decent old session tomorrow that we'll see how they go with that. But at this moment in time, they're progressing very well.
Wondering in terms of Shane Daly and Hugo Keenan, they've come through a similar pathway in terms of sevens, Will Connors as well. What have you made of them, their progress, and what will they bring to the squad?
They'll bring a lot to the squad actually. An energy that's relentless. Really, all three of them that you mentioned have got fantastic attitudes, and it's what's needed, isn't it, to grow on the international ladder. They're obviously done unbelievably well to get selected, but this is the start of their international career. They are very hungry for information, etc., and their attitude has been first class. It's a difficult world, coming into an international camp for the first time. You're obviously behind the 8 ball because there's a lot of people that's been around for quite some time who actually know the setup and how to get yourself ready for an international match in a few days. It's obviously new to them, but they're adapting unbelievably well, and the lads are looking after them along the way. The potential's there for everyone to see, and we've got to make sure that we bring that out.
Thank you.
Neil, Tracy?
Hi Andy. Obviously, a while back we would have thought that the ranking was going to be huge for the World Cup draw coming up in December, but obviously that's been decided now, and Ireland will be first. Has that affected maybe the way you're going to be selecting teams, so you could be a bit more inclined to give players a chance when there's going to be a big influence on the rankings?
I didn't quite hear the whole thing, but I know it was on the world rankings. I thought it was Darth Vader that was asking me the question then for a second, but anyway. Listen, as far as the world rankings is concerned, it is what it is. There's no point thinking that you're unlucky in this type of situation that we're in. There's a decision that has to be made, and it's been made, and we get on with it. I've been involved in a few World Cups now, and World Cups are there to be won by beating everyone. So we've got to make sure that we're at our best and able to do that.
And will it affect the team selection? Are you going to be more inclined to give the player the chance?
Well, there's all sorts of things that affect team selection. And for example, the injuries that we've got in the squad at the moment, as I said to you before, it's a great opportunity. And sometimes it's an opportunity for things that you wouldn't probably have changed before, different combinations, etc. So that's the type of opportunity that the period that we've got in front of us may arise. So we'll obviously assess every single camp and every single game as we go, and selection has got to be right. What's right for the team at that moment in time.
Yeah, I can jump in if nobody else is. Andy, how's it going? Pat McCarry here. Just about in terms of, like, let's say go back. It seems like a lifetime ago, but go back to before the Italy game earlier on this year, and John Cooney looked like he was set to maybe start that game, or he was the kind of front runner to start that game, but he's out of the picture and out of the squad entirely now. Is it something in his game that you want to see improvements in, or is it just a new direction that you're going in?
No, I wouldn't say it's a new direction. I think John Cooney's is a great player. I think that Luke McGrath's a great player as well, and Luke's missed out. And I don't gain any pleasure whatsoever from not picking lads. I know that they're desperate to play for the country, and rightfully so. And but you've got to make a call, haven't you? What's good for the team, and you look at all sorts of things regarding selection. Obviously, form, attitude. What the last 7 months has looked like, how they've come back, etc. And my job is to make sure that I obviously select a team that's going to keep everyone on the toes, etc. And because competition for places has got to be one of the key factors going forward for this team. And some people are going to lose out, but I hope that galvanises them, and I hope that they come back bigger and stronger and give us a few headaches along the way.
And would you hope that the process that happened at the Aviva Stadium with the provinces and how well that went, that maybe if it comes to a level 5 decision and elite sports kind of getting the go-ahead, would you hope that maybe the IRFU and the government might be able to work something out and keep these games going? Well,
obviously, I'd love to play the games. I'd love to get the Six Nations finish and play in the Autumn Nations Cup. We've waited a long time for international rugby to come back, and I suppose it's a nice tonic for the whole country to be able to watch the sport at international level come back on the screens, and we're desperate to put a good showing for the people of Ireland. But as I said before, there's bigger things than rugby, isn't there? So we'll just be advised and do the right thing by the country and what the government want us to do.
Thanks, Andy.
Okay, well, let's take the last couple of this section, lads and ladies.
Hi Andy, it's Sean here. It's a bit of a broad question, but it's been such a long period of time since you've last been with the players. What have you learned over the last couple of months, and what are you hoping to achieve over the next week?
I've learned how to do calls on Teams quite a bit, and Zoom, etc. And we've managed to keep ourselves busy trying to improve our game with the coaching staff and the players, etc. Look, there's been a long time for thinking. There's there is a little bit of an evolution that needs to happen within our game. I think one of our strengths is sticking to the plan. Also, one of our work-ons would be being adaptable in and around that plan. For our boys to see the whole picture. And I'm not just talking about the generals of the team. I'm talking about everyone now to play with a vision. Play with an appetite to see things. Play with an appetite to be able to make good decisions and be able to play and execute on those decisions is something that we've started. it may be a long enough old process, but it's something that I'm willing to stick to.
Sorry, is that a case of just empowering the players a bit more on the pitch to make?
Well, I mean, yeah, to just say that you're empowering. Obviously, you're trying to educate them on the decisions regarding the different scenarios that they're looking for. You know, first process has got to be to look for them. You know, the second process has got to be how to execute and back up that vision.